So you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 Yes.
What is going down, world? Welcome to the 40s. I go by the name Black Pegasus, and today we are checking out My Philosophy by Boogie Down Productions, aka the one and only KRS-One, the teacher. Yes. I think this is interesting. You know, a lot of times I do reactions on here, and in the reactions, I'll get interesting comments because I'm a rapper. Like, I grew up under the tutelage of, like, you know, the KRS-Ones, Tech Nine, like a bunch of different people, you know, influenced me on, let's say, the way I perform, the things I do, MC Supernatural, MC Juice when it comes to freestyle rapping, a bunch of stuff. But I see a lot of interesting comments, people being very critical and saying some of the wildest stuff about rap and hip hop. And I thought it was interesting because the more I listened to rock, sex, drugs, and rock and roll, you know, the more I listened to blues, even country, outlaw country specifically, there's a lot of parallels. And I think people forget what hip hop is and what hip hop was. And my argument would be that, hip hop was one of the first genres to make street intellectualism cool, right? Make consciousness cool. And if you want to argue like, oh, the hippies were conscious about this, that, and the other, there was this thing that drew people into this East Coast, just even punk rock and hip hop. Like, people were just like, what is this? This is so cool. There was something hip to it. Why it's called hip hop. And the inception of rap actually made consciousness very cool. And I have some really great examples in this that I wanted to show people. Now, I'm a fan of KRS-One. I was more of a Wu-Tang Clan kid, you know, Biggie, you know, that was kind of my era. But I always loved, appreciated, and respected KRS-One's work. And I think highlighting some of the stuff that people forget and how we got to where we're at with hip hop. You know, hip hop, in my opinion, got hijacked by corporations with rap specifically because of the genre. Also, I think the government had something to do with hijacking it at some capacity. But all music has been hijacked by corporations. This is why you got bubblegum country now. I'm listening to outlaw country. I was like, what is this? This is like underground hip hop, the shit I grew up on. So I wanted to talk about that and present that hip hop did some things first that I believe no other genres did. And it's because it's the offspring of so many styles, right? And we'll just get into it as the video goes. I know some people aren't going to stick around for this, and I think that's pretty funny. And I would say eye-opening, because most people come to my channel because I'm curious and I open my mind and heart to new things. I don't push anything to the side. I've listened to polka on this channel. I've listened to classical on this channel. I've listened to opera on this channel. I listen to folk on this channel because I have an open mind and I'm curious about music in general. I want to explore, and I think a lot of people who follow my channel aren't willing to do that. So it's okay. This is for the real ones today, and I appreciate you rocking with me. For everyone else, it is what it is, but I'm still going to be happy and have a good time rocking with all my people who do have an open mind. You know who I love the comments I love the most? Where people are like, Pegasus, I checked this out because of you. This isn't my thing, but thank you for, or whatever. Like, they at least checked it out. Those, like, even if it's like one person, that's the focus of today. And this is for the heart, for the soul, for the open-minded, and to have a dope conversation about some dope music. Anyways, if you guys are here for it, like, share, comment, subscribe, and welcome back to the channel.
They tease him a lot, black peas on the spot. Welcome back, 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 welcome back. 40.
All right, I'm going to get this logo down and pull the video up. Don't forget to support the original content on the channel. If you want access to the reactions early, there is a link in the description that gives you early access through our membership. You know, I update it every day. There's a big catalog of reactions that haven't been released to the public. But yo, just thank you guys for your support. Huge shout out to all the members on the channel, and let's rock. Now, it's always important to support the original content creator and the original artist. This is on Boogie Down Productions' official YouTube channel. So I would advise you to go there and watch this in its entirety on its own. You can go stream the music, purchase the music. Music is intended to be listened to or viewed in its entirety. What I'm doing here is different, so I'm not redistributing it. This isn't a substitute for the music. We're going to pause. We're going to talk about it. We're going to break it down, all that good stuff. So I hope you enjoy that. But, yeah, please go support the original content, and that's for every artist I react to. You guys know that. Now, let's get into this. This is Boogie Down Productions, My Philosophy, and we're going to talk about some of this. You know, sometimes people will be critical of KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions, which essentially started with KRS-One and Scott LaRock. And when they dropped Criminal Minded, I think he's on the cover with like an Uzi, you know what I'm saying? But after Scott LaRock was murdered, you know, KRS-One came to an epiphany, I believe. And I think this is one of the, let's just hear this out. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest hip hop songs ever because of what he delivers substance-wise. And again, I would argue that this is the first of its kind in music, period. And you guys argue back and forth. Let me know. No, this artist said this, that, and the other. But let's go. This is My Philosophy, KRS-One. R.I.P. to Scott LaRock.
So you're a philosopher?
Yes. 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 I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply. I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
I think very deeply.
Let us begin. What, where, why, or when?
Will all be explained like instructions to a game. See, I'm not insane. In fact, I'm kind of rational. When I be asking you who is more dramatical, this one or that one, the white one or the black one. Pick the punk, and I'll jump up to attack one. KRS-One is just the guy to lead a crew. Right up to your face and diss you. A lot of suckers would like to forget me, but they can't. Because like a champ, I have got a record of knocking out the frauds in a second. On the mic, I believe that you should get loose. I haven't come to tell you I got juice. I just produce, create, innovate on a higher level. I'll be back.
But for now, just sackle.
That's kind of like an intro to this video. I forgot to mention this song was sampled. What was the sample? I think it was like Sister Sanctified. But when we start off like that, you know, this street edge, sometimes people don't understand that. They don't understand street culture and the competitive nature of rapping and battling back and forth. And this was such a beautiful thing because what happened was you could have a rap battle or a b-boy battle, breakdance battle. You could have a graffiti battle, and this would solve the street disputes. So instead of brothers getting killed in the streets, you could have a rap battle instead. So this is like a very ahead of its time concept in the sense of like people were doing battle of the bands, but hip hop made it very personal and intimate, and it helped alleviate a lot of the street disputes, which could get violent at the time. Again, I wasn't there in New York, so you guys, your true East Coasters, tap in, but that's what this was for, to settle the score. So we're starting off with that street edge, and I want to be deliberate in saying that as we move into the intellectual part, which is just, I don't know. And even that, man, there's so many rappers that take from the classics. We're going to have a conversation like that. Let's set go. Like, anyways.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak. I played the 9 and you played the target. You all know my name, so I guess I'll just start it. Or should I say start this? Teaching other artists often new concepts and their hardest. Yo, cause I'm a teacher and Scott is a scholar. It ain't about money cause we all make dollars. That's why I walk with my head up. When I hear whack rhymes, I get fed up. Rappers like a setup, a lot of games, a lot of suckers with colorful names. I'm so-and-so, I'm this, I'm that, but they all to DJ Scott
You're a philosopher?
Yes, I think very deeply.
In about 4 seconds, a teacher will begin to speak.
Bro, I get goosebumps every time I hear some of these lines. I don't know if you guys understand the impact or power in this specifically piece of art, but I get goosebumps because I think of when this was released, right? And I think about some of the depth of it. Now, I'm not an expert in this. There's going to be some hip-hop aficionados who are just like experts in this and can do a deep dive, but I am a hip-hopper, right? Like, I know way more about rap and hip-hop than I do rock. And this was the first time I ever heard a mention of eating healthy. Now, he said vegetarian, and where I've come to today with, dealing with, let's say, my daughter's arthritis via battling that with food and different stuff like that, I think there are different methods to achieve health. It's not just vegetarianism, it's not just veganism, it's not just carnivore diet, right? I think there's a balance, but that's a whole nother thing. The concept that is so deep is that he got very in depth here. Now, I think this might be the first of its kind to be so in depth. I think maybe in reggae, they talk about, what is it, Jah, and they talk about the way they eat and stuff like that. But I believe this comes from because of the East Coast, and I think because of the Nation of Islam and Malcolm X and the influence that had, because I remember reading books from Malcolm X and even, let's say, Elijah Muhammad. And I remember a book, I think it was called Eat to Live. And this was a part of their teachings in general. And hearing it come out of the music, like, I've never heard a rock song talk about, like, eating healthy. I've never heard it. I've never heard a country song. I've never heard a folk song. Like, I've heard people talk about eating, but he's being socially conscious about all these different things also, which is very powerful for today because we get caught up in these exaggerations of, let's say, black culture when we get on social media where they're like, black culture is this, and they start trying to explain black culture as black fatigue because they're highlighting all of these nonsensical things happening. And for a very long time, there has always been a sect of black culture who's pushed back on, certain cultural things that they didn't agree with that are stereotypical. Think about how far back this came out and him saying what he just said about, I'm not a stereotype, dog. And you got to think of this coming off of Scott LaRock's death. This is powerful. And again, I don't think street intellectualism was ever pushed in a genre at this level. You got some people that are street smart that talk this, that, and the other, but I don't know. This is very powerful, and this is the mechanics of rap because essentially with the lyrics, the way lyrics, you can get a lot more information out in the lyricism, and rap was able to propel information type of music where it's like, I feel like when I listen to Pink Floyd, they're speaking to me through the instrumentation, and they're just playing. But being from the streets and maybe lacking access to instrumentation, they learned how to do that through their lyricism and deep poetry. And I think that's very important to highlight, especially with a lot of the naysayers and people who are so doom and gloom about rap. They forget the inception and what it really means and what it means to like someone like me. This is rap. This is hip hop to me. And we can have some adult time. Like, bro, if rockers can talk about drug, sex, and rock and roll, why can't rappers? If outlaw country can, shoot a man just to watch him die? But then all of a sudden rap gets this, oh, they're gangsters, they're thugs. I mean, dog, I think Johnny Cash said that line, I shot a man and blah, blah, just to watch him die. Like, that's one of the most gangsters things I've ever heard. So I like to challenge people. And the more I listened to more music on this channel, I was like, oh, I was starting to think, oh yeah, rap is like this thing, and this thing that people are putting this bad connotation. I realized it's just a reflection of humans and the human environment, just like your music. These holier than thou people in the comments are crazy to me, and I'm having fun right now, just kind of going back and remembering these moments where conscious black rap. Not even black rap, conscious rap in general was a thing, and it was popular. I still think it got hijacked at some capacity. a lot of things were figured out. Oh, this could be this, blah. We need to sell to this demographic and that demographic and blah, 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 blah. But I just think it's interesting when you really dive deep on where rap music stems from and what they were saying, the message, Poor Righteous Teachers, Brand Nubian, you kind of start to wonder, like, how did this happen?
How many MCs must get dissed before somebody says don't with Chris? Chris is just one style out of many. Like a piggy bank, this is one penny. My brother's name is Kenny. That's Kenny Parker. My other brother, ICU, is much darker. Boogie Down Productions is made up of teachers. The lecture is conducted from the mic into the speaker. Who gets weaker, the king or the teacher? It's not about a salary, it's all about reality. Teachers teach and do the world good. Kings just rule and most are never understood. If you were to rule or govern a certain industry, all inside this room right now would be in misery. No one would get along nor sing a song, cause everyone be singing for the king. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? I say, yo, what's up? It's me again. Scott LaRock, KRS, BDP again. Many people had the nerve to think that we would end the trend. We're criminal-minded and minded, just only 10 funky hit records. No more than 4 minutes and some seconds. The competition checks and keeps checking. They take the album, take it home and start sweating. Why? Well, it's simple. To them, it's kind of vital. To take KRS One's title. To them, I'm like an idol. Some type of entity. And everybody's rhyme, they want to mention me. Or rather mention us, me and Scott LaRock. But they could get bust, get robbed, get dropped. I don't play around, nor do I F around. And you can tell by the bodies that are left around when some clown jumps up to get beat down. Broken down to his very last compound. See how it sound? A little unrational. A lot of MCs like to use the word dramatical. Fresh for 88, you suckers.
I was 8 years old. Anyways, I just think there's some power in that. Some people will get caught up in the antics. People are so divided right now. They forget what's being presented. He even talked about kings, right? And it's ironic because where are we? America, right? Went against the monarchy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just funny. But at the same time, we have Malcolm X in there. And people would, people's different ideologies would push back against certain things. But you also got to see where all of this derives from. And I think there's some full circle moments in 2025 when we see the state of America and stuff like that. And a lot of this are reactions to where, because if you go look into like COINTELPRO and a bunch of things and, the environment that hip hop comes from, and COINTELPRO, like it's just a concept. It's not a concept. It's what happened. But I'm just saying, like, everything is happening in the real world, and there's a reaction to that, and it comes out in music, right? That's why you had all the Vietnam protest songs, etc. So when you see this music coming from the Black community, this is, a reaction through different things that have happened in that community. And hip-hop was one of the things that was able to lift a lot of brothers out of that community, not out of the community. Let me rephrase that. Poverty. Like, there's a lot of poverty in the realm of hip hop, and not every Black person's in poverty. This is a touchy subject matter at some capacity. But all I'm saying is hip hop made Black voices influential and gave them meaning, more so worldwide than a lot of things, right? I feel like entertainment, sports, and then it was able to branch into other things and grow. And I think there's something to that and something to recognize. And I know, I just see so much interesting conversation about rap and hip hop, especially today. I think I did this reaction because hip hop has fallen from grace. I believe this was the first month since the 90s that hip hop wasn't in the top 40 charts, which to me is great because it's a sign that people want this. People want something with more substance, something that's a little more thought out, something a little more artistic. And I'm going to get into more of the artistic hip hop that I think people are gravitating to. And this is why the trendy, formulaic, structured rap music. I think there's a difference between rap and hip hop personally. And the rap music that was big, rap is not in the charts right now. You know, I guess you could say hip hop as well. And I just think it's interesting. We're at a crossroads with it. And everything has its peaks and valleys. Everything has a beginning and end at some capacity. And I just think, you know, I don't know, man. Like, I can't even listen to modern rap, really. I'm just like, dude, what is this? Especially when you listen to the dynamic difference of this versus modern rap. And this is why I brought this to the channel, because when people criticize rap, I'm like, what are you criticizing? Like, do you even know the history of rap and, like, you know, where these things stem from and the depth of it? There's so much depth in some of these lyrics. And at the end, we got back into the edgy street, like, hey, don't mess with me. But there was so much substance in the middle as well that it's just like, yo, this is what, because that edgy, like, bravado is what made you cool and hip. Like, nah, you ain't messing with me, dog. But at the same time, I can be a teacher. I can be a philosopher. And I don't have to be in these stereotypes. And I just think it's wild to this day that they were so direct on the health. Like, this influenced Dead Prez, I think, Be Healthy. That Be Healthy song, this influenced a lot of people. Just that those few bars about him being a vegetarian, like, really opened people's eyes. I don't know if y'all remember, there are rap songs, I don't smoke Buddha, I can't stand stress. Yeah, it's basically saying I don't smoke weed. Dr. Dre beginning was like, I don't smoke weed. Like, there is all this, like, positive, like, conscious music coming out of the rap space. And I just kind of wanted to rant about it today. And go back and enjoy what kind of brought me up and made me somewhat the artist that I am today. Because I've always kind of pushed against the mainstream at some capacity. I had certain codes that I went by when I wrote music, and I wasn't perfect by any means. But shout out to KRS-One. I got to tour with KRS-One, man, in Colorado. It was great. He brought this. He literally wrote a hip hop Bible. He literally loves rap and hip-hop so much. He not only wrote a hip-hop Bible, I think he was a professor at certain colleges with a hip-hop philosophy class. He's literally the guy. Like, I learned a lot from KRS-One, and I learned a lot from his stage show and stage presence. He's a one-man army, for sure. Anyways, respect to Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One. Rest in peace, Scott LaRock. Let me know what I got, what I missed. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thank you for being some man. 40 years down the road, back again.